Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. Can we talk about Kimber and Stormer?
My ship!
I mean, on any other day of the week, we would be talking about Jem and the Holograms, but this is a very special episode this week, Kristen, and not in, like, the very special episode of Blossom sense, like, nobody... We have that later in the season, where, nobody's doing drugs right now.
Not
But, yeah, this is a very special episode because this is one where the bands break up.
For, like, the second of 3 times.
I am Stormer. My name is Joe. And yes, Kristen, that means you have to be Kimber.
I'm Kimber. I guess. I'm Kristen.
And we are the Can We Talk About podcast. Can we talking about that most pastel of 80s cartoons, that neon nightmare. Again, they don't really go, neon and pastel aren't really the same, but shut up. That series, mostly totally devoid of subtext. Completely, totally.
Almost.
No subtext at all, I swear.
Just shy of a mouth kiss.
80s cartoon, air quotes classic, Jem and the Holograms. A series that we are experiencing via Shout Factory's Jem and the Holograms truly outrageous complete series, box set, and the wonderful world of Netflix. Kristen! Netflix?
I've been watching Black Mirror.
Yeah, how's that?
It's a little Banksy-y.
That's an odd way to describe it.
Your phones were the villain the whole time.
Oh.
But otherwise it's not too bad.
I've been catching up on those, like, Comedy Central seasons of Futurama that I missed, and they're alright. There's hit or miss,
Why are you
I'd
doing
say.
that to yourself?
There's still some good episodes in there.
Just watch original Futurama over again.
No, I should. That's where it started, and then I was like, well, fuck. Now I gotta watch the movies, and I don't really like the movies too much, and it just keeps going, so, yeah, that's what I'm doing.
And Jem is still on Netflix.
Jem is still on Netflix, yes. Anyway, Kristen, this is an important episode because Kimber is wearing more eye makeup, mostly, but no, it's also where the bands are breaking up. We have, and, oh yeah, the bands do break up one more time, don't they, after this, or is it twice more?
It's after, well, I know the other time, at least, the one that I'm thinking of is when Riot straight up kidnaps Jem.
Yes, when Riot and Jem end up on a fucking island somewhere, and Kimber stops the theme song and goes, "There's no episode this week! Jem's gone!"
And Jem, let's be honest, she doesn't try too hard to escape the island.
But yeah, so this is, I guess, is the first band breaking up Kimber's rebellion?
Yeah, I mean, it's for 2 minutes, but it happens.
Yeah, okay. So, alright, this is... Even though this episode is called The Bands Break Up, it should be called The Bands Break Up, Kimber's Rebellion Part 2. Because Kimber is a major driving force of why at least one band is breaking up in this episode.
Yeah, and we find out early on that Kimber's threshold for bullshit has definitely been wearing down this entire time. And that's kind of the inciting factor of everything that we see.
She's built up a lot since Kimber's Rebellion, where she's been just kind of compartmentalizing all of that bullshit to where it comes to a head this week, and we're going to experience it firsthand, along with, I guess, Stormer reaching her bullshit threshold as well.
Mm-hmm, which, again, doesn't take that long, so both of them, the straw that broke the camel's back just happens simultaneously.
Which makes for a good episode, so let's just get those bands broken up. We'll play the theme song here, and when we come back, Kimber and Stormer are going to kiss. Play a song together. Kiss!
One or the other!
Me and my friends are Jem girls. Jem is my name. Exciting adventure, fashion, and fame. Once you're a Jem girl, you're never the same. Come on and be a Jem girl. Jem is my name. Me and my friends are Jem girls. Jem is my name. Truly outrageous, that's a Jem girl. Glamour, fashion, and fame. Exciting adventure, fashion, and fame. Once you're a Jem girl, you're never the same. Come on and be a Jem girl. Jem is my name.
We start off, Kristen, this is an episode written by our favorite, Marv Wolfman, who wrote, was it Broadway Magic, did he write, I think?
Sandy Fries.
Sandy Fry.
I'm sorry, Sandy Hot Dogs.
Marv Wolfman, who wrote an episode way too good for his own good, where he's coming back on this one too. Now, I know you didn't like Broadway Magic, but I'll give it out for Broadway Magic. He wrote this episode with Sherry Wilkerson, which we all know Marv Wolfman, Kristen, but whom is Sherry Wilkerson, I wonder?
Oh, tell me, Joe.
Well, after a little digging, i.e. Wikipedia, I found that they may have spelled her name wrong in the credits, because on Wikipedia, there's an E at the end, like a Cherie, or I don't know how that would technically be pronounced, but yeah, she has some writing credits, not many. Most of them are episodes co-written with Marv Wolfman, So this is a common thread, I guess, and I guess the most important being the Season 3 finale of Transformers, The Return of Optimus Prime.
So are you saying that the band's breakup is her magnum opus?
I would think so, because The Return of Optimus Prime is bullshit and stupid, and Season 3 of Transformers is bad in general, so whatever. We start at Starlight Mansion here. Aja and Kimber are arguing about the B-side of their next single, which, I mean, are B-sides that important, Kristen? I mean, it's a B-side.
Joe, these are Kimber's song babies. They're all important.
She loves them all, especially the B-sides.
Also, this episode makes a really strong case for our song about how Aja is a bitch in Scandal.
Aja and Jerica seem to want like something up-tempo, but Kimber just keeps going, I want to write a ballad. I want to do a ballad.
Listen, it'll be a song and it'll be about a boat.
It'll be about riding a train, walking down the street.
Like, don't you guys like that? Doesn't that sound like something good? But everyone's like, no, let's do a fast song. It'll sell better.
Yeah, it's basically, Aja just wants something up-tempo, Jerica's like, no, let's do something up-tempo, Shana's like, it'll sell better, and Ray is just like, I'm here too! And then...
I vote with the majority!
And that's enough for Jerica to be like, aha, you're outvoted, democracy, boom, finger pistols.
Rhea doesn't have, like, genuine band suffrage yet.
Kimber continues to plead her case, and Jem cuts her off, basically saying, like, you know, the album's already late, Kimber, so let's get to fucking steppin' and make this song already. Play those keys, Missy. Put the fingers on the keyboard. We have frustration from Kimber, and they start playing an instrumental, basically, of Getting Down to Business, which is kind of hilarious because it's got horn noises in it, and none of them are playing horns.
You don't know that.
Kristen, I don't know if Kimber's keyboard has a fucking horn function on it, but Kimber doesn't look like she's into it or playing very much, so a lot of, like, they're all kind of swaying around, and just, for some reason, okay, so they're playing Getting Down to Business, a song that they've already made, essentially, and they keep just commenting, like, this should be a song about love, this should be, you know, it should be high temp, they keep saying these things about a song they've already made.
Yeah, meanwhile, Kimber keeps going like, well, I think, if you guys would just... And no one gives a shit.
And Shana makes some offhand comment about them not recording a good love song in a long time.
Fuck off, Shana.
Which comes off like a really backhanded comment. Just like, you know, oh, yeah, all these songs that we've done, no love songs in a while, you know? And it's like, well, fuck, how about you write a love song, Shana? Jesus.
Is Shana in this band? Because every single song the hologram sing is basically about love.
Kristen, Shana played drums most of the time. She was just focused on drums. She wasn't listening to the lyrics.
All she hears is bap, 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 bap. She doesn't even know what they're singing about.
Kimber's still making a case for the ballad rather than the love song, but they could technically be the same thing, right? It doesn't, you know, a ballad could be a love song, I'm sure.
Yeah, they could. So I guess Kimber is just still annoyed at the tempo and everyone else because, Jesus, they might as well just be completely fucking wasted because Kimber is screaming at them to listen and they don't care.
Everyone's off on their own goddamn planet as they're dancing around and shit. And Jem just finally is just like, you know what, why don't you trust us, Kimber? And then Aja commits the greatest sin of all, where, again...
That bitch.
Aja's a bitch. Duh. Aja's a bitch.
Why was that to the Out of the Box theme song?
It had the right amount of syllables, I guess.
I don't think you even watched that show growing up.
So Aja says, trust us, kid. We're older. And this is where Kimber kicks over her fucking keyboard. You just call me a kid? I'm 18, maybe?
I'm gonna destroy my own property. At least go kick the drums over.
Kimber feels underappreciated and leaves. Jem wants to talk to her, but Aja holds her back. You remember Jem when you said like 2 episodes ago, and it was like, oh no, Kimber needs to deal with this on her own. Suddenly she's like, oh no, I need to go talk to my sister about problems that she's having.
I think in general it's a good rule for them to be like, oh, Kimber's really angry. If we go after her now, she's just gonna yell at us, and I don't want to get yelled at.
Again, start haranguing, and they'll start catching fists at that point.
Yeah, we don't want to do that again.
So we horizontal wipe to Misfits music. Pizzazz is running down Stormer for the quality of song she's been writing. Like, an instrumental of I'm Okay is playing in the background here, so I'm wondering if Stormer was presenting I'm Okay to the Misfits, maybe?
Yeah, because I think, no, because I can't remember, like, they suddenly decide later in the episode that one of them wrote the, like, instrumental and the other kind of had lyrics in mind. And that's what I'm Okay turns into, but I don't think it was Stormer that wrote the music.
This is where it ends up being a problem, because I know that Kimber says something about lyrics in the episode a few times. I don't know. Again, this is where it's like when you say you write the music, it ends up causing problems because there's a difference between writing the music and writing the lyrics.
And you cannot just take music that somebody wrote and suddenly be like, oh, let's layer my lyrics over this. Like, how good are you at improvising? Stop it. I don't believe that these 2 teen girls are that good at improvising.
Is Stormer even a teenager? Because she later, when, like, they first meet, she refers to Kimber as, like, the baby of the holograms, or the teen kid, or whatever. So she calls her kid again, basically.
Yeah, we have no idea how old the Misfits are, I just realized.
I have a problem. Kristen, one of the things on rockgem.com, where I sometimes go to look at trivia for the episodes, I believe one of the trivia things was, we learn in this episode that Kimber is the youngest of the holograms. And I'm like, well, isn't Rhea younger? Shouldn't she be?
I don't know. I'm not given enough information to draw any conclusions.
Because also, according to Jem, we learned that at least Kimber went to high school, and she's not in high school anymore, I'm pretty sure, which I don't think means she dropped out to be a rock star, because that'd be a bad message to send to the children. It should just be that she didn't go to college or something. I don't know. Fuck it. It doesn't matter.
She's at least 18 or 19. We know that Jerrica is probably about the same age as Rio, and that Rio went to some college for something.
And Aja's probably the same age, and Shana might be older,
Slightly
younger?
older? A little bit older, maybe?
I don't know.
Earth Mother.
Anyway, so back to Misfits music at this point, even though we didn't technically leave, just back to where the discussion is at Misfits music. Pizzazz comments that the song that is playing in the background, which is an instrumental of I'm Okay, she has seen better notes on a tax form. Ooh!
She's never seen a tax form.
Roxy, because she can't read, comments that the music sounds like dinosaurs snoring, and then makes a loud snort noise.
We return to Cool Trash Magazine, which is very popular this season.
And very large, too. Again, Pizzazz reading a giant
Huge.
Cool Trash magazine.
These artists know nothing about scale.
Well, we have another egregious scale issue later that we'll get to. Jetta simply says that she hates the song. Just straight up just says, I hate it. And don't ask me what I think about you.
Joe, you said that wrong.
Oh, excuse me. I hate it! And don't ask me what I think about you, yank!
Good job, Monty Python.
And Stormer, much like Kimber, is pleading her case. Eric apparently needs a new Misfits album by Friday, which gets dropped very quickly.
Maybe that's why the Misfits later are suddenly like, oh no, we're in trouble. That's right. We were supposed to have an album out.
The other Misfits do a little whisper. They kind of all get together when Stormer's being like, come on, be serious. And Pizzazz is like, okay, Miss Fudge Budget, Fuss Budget, something. She calls her something Fudge Budget, Miss Fudge Budget. Fudge Budget.
I wish I had a fudge budget.
Considering all of the fucking ice cream sundaes that Stormer goes through in this episode, maybe she is Miss Fudge Budget.
That's awesome.
I think it was supposed to be Fuss Bucket. It ended up sounding like Fuss Budget, and I turned it into Fudge Budget, so I don't know.
One of those is way more delicious than the other ones.
Pizzazz then grabs, like, is this a hat? Did she put on, like, a popcorn ball on her head or something here?
It looks like a traffic cone that got decapitated.
She and Jetta start doing, like, operatic scales badly as Roxy pretends to do ballet and then kicks Jetta in the ass.
Which was definitely on purpose, just an excuse to physically harm Jetta.
Stormer isn't amused. She has the realization that, the Misfits don't give a shit about her, and she goes, I hate you all! And she leaves, and the Misfits laugh and laugh. Oh, friendship.
Ah, so good. And you think they would know better after Craig Phillips' lamp threatened them. Threatened them with lamp murder.
Basically threatened to kick their ass with lamps, yes.
What? Is Craig Phillips actually Rio? Because, trying to kill someone with lights does sound an awful lot like something Rio would do.
Oh, no.
Okay, I'm sorry. I need to stop that train of thought before I go completely off the rails.
So we cut to, let's cut to a different train of thought here, where we have the Limp Lizards making their first appearance since the very first goddamn episode.
Your friends and mine.
Playing their song Broken Glass, which we hear more of compared to the first episode, which includes such lyrics as My life is a garbage heap, which sounds like it would go over great on the internet these days.
Oh yeah, definitely. The Limp Lizards would be very popular.
Kimber takes a seat at the bar, and the Charlie Adler bartender is like, what's your poison? Doing like a weird half-tech rat voice, pretty much.
It's me, Zipper. I'm in disguise.
And Kimber goes, I want a peach, thick shake, real thick. And the bartender goes, oh, delicious.
What a dick.
Does that have alcohol in it? Are you 21? Is this a bar?
I don't know. Joe, I've had alcoholic milkshakes before. Alcoholic milkshakes are real tasty.
Stormer takes a seat next to Kimber, and Stormer wants vanilla cola. Make it a double. And a hot fudge sundae. 3 scoops. with banana.
Stormer has good taste. It reminds me of, however, whenever we go to Sonic, I like getting chocolate Dr. Peppers.
Ooh, yeah, that's pretty good. So there's some magician-looking lady on stage, and I think it's like, what is that? The cravat? Is that what she's wearing? Is that what that's called? The cravat?
I wasn't paying attention to the clothing choice of an unnamed character who we hear from in this scene only.
Magician lady goes up on stage, and it's like, give it up for the Limp Lizards! And Stormer's pissed because she wanted to hear music, so that's why she came here for, I guess, because she really takes a lot of inspiration from the Limp Lizards, I guess.
Of course, they're a big muse.
And it took until that moment for Kimber to realize that the blue-haired woman sitting next to her was Stormer.
Oh, wow, Blue. I thought you were Aja. That bitch.
There's a weird bit of information here where I think what's supposed to happen is when Kimber goes, oh, you're Stormer from the Misfits. Stormer's supposed to, choke on her sundae. But what happens is she coughs, and then the animation shows spit flying from her mouth.
That's gross, Stormer. You're not going to get a girlfriend like that.
And Stormer's reaction after almost choking, I guess, is like, oh, a lousy day gets more lousy. The kid hologram is here. And then Stormer magnum burns Kimber immediately, going, where's your big sister, creepo? She let you out after 4:30?
Stormer is vicious when she wants to be.
When Stormer's angry, yeah, watch out. She'll start fucking killing people with lamps.
She takes the memory of pizzazz that haunts her, and it inspires the hot fire she spits.
The magician lady on stage is like, wow, we have a misfit and a hologram here. How everybody give it up for these people from two completely different bands.
That I'm pretty sure hate each other. This is well documented in the media, but who cares?
Kimber tells Stormer to go play in Traffic too, which is like, woo, wow.
You can see very clearly from the beginning that they're going to date.
And then the spotlight shines on them, and the magician lady is like, come up on stage, you two people from different bands. Maybe they'll play music. Maybe, I don't know how music works. What instrument? They both play keyboard. They could make a song. I don't know.
We'll figure it out. Yay! And everyone's clapping. And I don't know how they change their minds so quickly, because both Stormer and Kimber are like, I would rather just drop dead right here.
Stormer says she'd swallow tar rather than sing with Kimber, and Kimber says that she'd choke first.
Stormer's was better.
1 second later, Kimber's like, well, they are clapping a lot. Maybe we should go on stage. And Stormer's like, okay.
Let's do it.
And at least Kimber says that she still doesn't, this doesn't mean I like you, misfit. And Stormer goes, that goes triple for me.
Not even double.
So they head on stage. I'm sure the Limp Lizards are pissed because they probably weren't even done with their set yet. And for some reason,
I
Kristen...
thought the announcement and the complaint about wanting to hear music meant that their set was over.
Oh, well, more than likely. Lucky we have a pink keyboard and a yellow guitar on stage.
Nice.
Slow ballad in G. Try to keep up, with the slow ballad.
Nice.
1.5 seconds after Stormer starts playing, Kimber goes, this is perfect for my new lyrics. And we get, Kristen, the song that we'll be playing this evening. It is I'm Okay by Kimber and Stormer. And let's play that right now.
Sometimes I feel so alone and lose sense. Sometimes don't know where to turn or who to call my friends. But I'm okay. I'm okay. I have faith in myself. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm gonna make it through today. I'm okay. Sometimes I go through so much in my mind. Sometimes the space that I need is no place I can find. But I'm okay. I'm okay. I have faith in myself. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm gonna make it through the day. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. I have faith in myself. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm gonna make it through the day. I'm okay. I'm okay.
So that was I'm Okay. What the fuck? Kristen, Kimber is singing... Kimber and Stormer, one, have the same singing voice, and two, sing way deeper than you would expect them to sing.
Yeah, I have no idea who is doing, the actual singing for this, so doing the episode credits is going to be interesting.
I'm just, I'm Okay is... It's a nice song. It's nice to get, it's like the fucking songs from the Orphans. It's nice to get just different kinds of songs, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Sounds a little bit like it belongs in a commercial for, a shoe store.
It kind of does. It's general uplifting kind of... I don't even know if I'd call this a ballad either. It just sounds like a normal pop kind of song, I guess.
Yeah, and at the end, when the music starts to fade out, I just keep thinking, like, come join us this holidays at the Mountain Valley Mall.
I'm okay!
Call this toll-free number.
There's imagery of both band members being underappreciated. There's a lot of staring into each other's eyes in this song, Kristen, and this is where it starts, where I thought a lot of the, oh, Kimber and Stormer are totally in love, was overblown. Even after seeing the episode once, I was like, okay, alright, no, I get they're good friends, they're hugging and stuff, but no, I'm watching the episode, and they look like they're gonna kiss like 4 or 5 times throughout the episode.
I remember when I first started Jem, just reading people's hot takes on the internet and people being like, oh, Kimber and Stormer. And I kept thinking to myself, that is such a weird pairing to pick. Like, just these two people from these two bands, sure, whatever. And then I watched this episode and I was like, oh, I get it. I see exactly, like in the Jem comics, Kimber and Stormer are like overtly going on dates and stuff.
It was one of those things where I just thought it was like fanon that made it into the media, which, happens. It's just...
This has a very strong basis, and it makes complete sense that they used it.
No, exactly. I agree completely.
Everyone sees this.
Maybe I was looking at it wrong the first time. I don't know, but yeah, there's a lot of. It looks like they're gonna kiss a lot.
They edited it since your first watch. And now their mouths just get closer and closer and closer.
And so they play I'm Okay, and everybody cheers, and the magician lady is like, oh my god, you guys sound fucking perfect together. Why don't you come back and play? For the fans, for free, of course. For the fans, though.
I don't know why they accept for free as part of playing together, but they do. God, I guess they don't need any money.
Well, I mean, is it technically for free? Because they say later that they've been playing at the club for fun, which doesn't necessarily mean for free, but... I'm sure we can...
Well, they say that later in response to be offered money for playing together.
Oh, that's true. Okay, so yes, more than likely playing for free. Also, at the end of I'm Okay, they hug, which for people that were at each other's throats about a minute and a half ago, that's a pretty extreme response, I would think. That's love at first sight, if anything.
Yeah, that's two people who fell in love while they sang a song together. Yeah, it's like the first High School Musical movie where Gabriella and Troy sing karaoke together at New Year's or something, and then they fall in love.
Oh.
The jock and the nerd.
Wow, High School Musical. Deep references here on the Can We Talk About podcast.
Yes, so deep.
Kimber and Stormer seem pretty surprised by the outcome here as well, and they said, hey, we'll start working together tomorrow. So we cut to Kimber. She's doing some whistling as she's doing her makeup here. Jerica's concerned that Kimber won't talk to her. Sis, why won't you talk to me? Why don't you tell me where you're going? Who's that blue-haired woman you're hanging out with who drives the gremlin?
She's my girlfriend!
Jerica wants to know where Kimber's headed, and Kimber's like, you don't care, so stop asking questions. I'm okay!
Yep.
Ashley and Bonnie are hanging out with Rhea and Shana for some reason. Just they're hanging out on the couch as Kimber's
They thought
leaving.
Rhea was going to bring another piñata and were disappointed, but then they felt obligated to stay and hang out.
And Shana's just like, I could show you a cool new sewing pattern. And Ashley's just like...
And Bonnie's like... She hasn't had a case in a while, so she's like starting to get jitters.
She's wondering if the fuzz is onto her.
She's smoking a cigarette.
Ashley comments on Kimber's cool eyes as she storms through the house, and Jerica follows, concerned, and I'm Okay starts playing in the background again. And this isn't even like us making a joke. This I'm Okay is legitimately starting to play in the background as Stormer arrives in her fucking orange AMC Pacer, her fucking orange gremlin. Stormer's a misfit. Why does she have such a shitty car?
I don't know. She bought a used car because she felt like it was just the most sound economical decision for her.
And Jerica's like, who is that blue-haired woman with face makeup and a flower in her hair in that car? And Kimber's like, I know who my real friends are now, which probably not the best thing to say, considering if Jerica was like, wait a minute, that's Stormer, could be construed as, oh my god, Kimber's a member of the Misfits now.
Yeah, with that slightly larger triangle of makeup that she wears on her face now. God, she's going crazy. Yeah, also Jerica is like a 1950s dad, and he's like, oh no, my sister's a lesbian.
End of segment 1. Jerica looks shocked as Stormer and Kimber drive off, and I'm Okay blaring loudly, and segment 2, here we are. Segment 2 starts. Kimber and Stormer...
With I'm Okay!
With I'm Okay for, the 8th time in this episode already? Playing it at the club, and at other various locations, and we immediately cut to the Misfits having trouble recording new material. Pizzazz, of course, blames Stormer, because easy targets, I guess.
We have 2 guitars and a saxophone now. This sucks.
And they all express their displeasure with Stormer not being around, and Jeddah says, I ain't too fond of the blighter myself, which, Jeddah, if you remember earlier in the episode, you had said that you didn't want Stormer to ask your opinion of her, which, if you're saying now that you're not too fond of her, does that mean your opinion of Stormer has increased since earlier in the episode?
I love you!
What's she hanging out with the red pig-haired woman? I wish she'd look at me longingly.
I never stood a chance. Pink and blue look real nice together.
What do I bring to the table? I'm just black and white.
I have my saxophone. I'm losing the accent.
So we say Kimber and Stormer have been playing together long enough at this point to adopt, like, a slightly different look. Like, Kimber's wearing anime pigtails, kinda, and I don't know if you got a chance to look at her outfit, Kristen, but she's wearing, like, every color on the palette.
Yeah, they both look like super gay birds or something.
Well, Stormer has, like, a red dress that has black feathers and shit all over it, or at least it evokes a feathery. I don't know if it's actually feathers. It could just be drawn lines or something.
Yeah, there's really no telling with the Jem fashion sometimes.
Some sleazy producer type named Dave Daniels is here, and he comments on how much he enjoyed the performance. And this guy may as well be fucking Zipper, Kristen, because he sounds... I don't know if he's Charlie Adler. I didn't actually pay that close attention. I don't think he actually is, but he has, like, that sort of, you know, fast talker...
I'm evil.
Fast talker, I'm the evil producer kind of voice, yeah.
I'm gonna shaft you.
Sign this paper.
He offers them a record deal with lots of zeros in it. Zeros as in $0.
No, zeros, as in millions.
Maybe they should hear him out. So we cut to Dave Daniels handing over a contract to Kimber and Stormer for them to read over. Is Stormer having another ice cream sundae at this point, Kristen? I forget.
I think so, yeah. I seem to remember them having stuff at the table. Just stuff your face while you read this important contract. Just rub some fudge all over it.
And Kimber takes a look at the contract and she goes, this contract is pages and pages long. What does it say?
Read it! You think she would know by now?
This is, Kristen, this is what we call, CWTAJ, the idiot ball.
Uh-huh. Because, like, they have signed enough weird things at this point and then had stuff pop up later like, performance clause, finish your album or whatever, that Kimber should think to herself, I have been in this business long enough to know I should read a contract before I sign it. And, like, okay, Kimber's younger. Stormer should also know better.
Well, we see throughout the episode, Stormer, despite her good heart and, you know, being moe as fuck most of the time, is still basically... She has a lot of Misfits tendencies still in her, possibly as a result of the Misfits, or maybe that's why she's a Misfit.
Yeah, part of it is, like, especially in this situation, she doesn't end up with nearly as much to lose as Kimber, so she's just kind of like, well, I could get away scot-free.
I love you, but bye.
So, yeah, basically, Dave Daniels just goes, just sign at the bottom! He says he'll even give him a cash advance to make the album, if he could get some collateral, and then in my notes, the very next note is, this is a trap!
He very casually suggests ideas, because he's like, well, the last band, they didn't finish the record, even though I gave them money. And Kimber was like, well, we wouldn't do that. And Storm was like, yeah, of course not. But we can't really afford collateral. So Sleazeman says, well, Eric Raymond told me that I should maybe suggest, hey, Kimber, you have half of Starlight Music, right? And Storm was like, oh, do it.
Yeah,
Do it.
Stormer's response to, like, why don't you put up half of Starlight Music? Which, does this mean, Kristen, then, that Kimber was the one who directly benefited from the win at the Battle of the Bands, considering Jerica had the other half of Starlight Music, and that means that, unless
Do you
Jerica...
think they both technically had fourths, but they just didn't mention it in that context?
I assumed it meant that Kimber owning half of Starlight Music meant that she got Eric's half from the Battle of the Bands, I think. I'm
I can
assuming
believe that too, so Eric is only trying to steal what was his originally.
I will bring that up when we get to Eric's scene.
It's mine, your dad gave it to me. I loved your dad, by the way.
So, yes, Stormer's just like, that sounds reasonable enough, putting up half your stake in a fucking music company, and doesn't see any problem with it at all. And Kimber's just like, okay! And she signs, and then we see Dave Daniels is in fact working for Eric Raymond!
You know what? Eric knows an opportunity when he sees it.
Eric, I don't know how he even fucking found out about this. Where, with Kimber, I mean, I guess he's got moles everywhere. He's got, you know, his hand on the pulse of the music scene, so he could find the first band to fucking kick the Misfits to the curb. You know what would have been nice, Kristen? How about Eric approaches Kimber and Stormer and goes, you guys are where the money is. The Misfits are gone forever. All you need to do is say the word.
Those guys are dicks anyway.
But no, Eric has to be evil and stupid and try to steal back what was originally. He's trying to get back to square one with this scenario.
It was Eric's originally.
I wonder did Emmett Benton not realize how evil Eric was when he gave him half of Starlight Music?
Joe, are you really questioning how smart Emmett Benton was? Because I feel like a lot of the things left in the wake of his death kind of prove he didn't think stuff through that well.
No, you're probably right. So, alright, so Kimber and Stormer are on Lindsay's show, which means Susan Blue is talking to herself here as Stormer and Lindsay, and they are a force to be reckoned with due to Kimber's lyrics and Stormer's music. So, okay, that must be something that was said specifically, otherwise I wouldn't have written it down. So Kimber does lyrics. Stormer writes the music, I guess, which means that Kimber... When they did I'm Okay earlier, Stormer started playing, here's this song that I was going to play with the Misfits, and Kimber was like, oh, I've got lyrics for this. It's about being okay.
So, I guess maybe Pizzazz writes the lyrics to the Misfits songs? That seems
correct.
Likely.
Yeah, more than likely.
So her I'm Okay would be, I'm the best!
I'm the best!
Fuck your shit!
Giantess!
304!
Stop!
I'm sorry!
So they wrote some new songs for tonight's concert. It's gonna be the best show ever. These new songs, they're really, really, really meaningful and really, really sensitive, and we kissed a lot.
You can hear Pizzazz puking.
Well, the Misfits are watching on TV, and I like the idea of Pizzazz's response to this. She wants sensitive, we'll show her sensitive, as she's shaking her fist at the screen, which leads me to believe that, of course, Pizzazz's idea of sensitive is punching someone in any part of their body.
Well, she does manage to tone it down to bribing, so that's a big step for Pizzazz.
Bribing might be the nicest thing Pizzazz has ever done.
Yeah.
Somehow, this interview is how Jerrica and the holograms, first find out about what Kimber has been doing, too.
They're bad friends.
And, yeah, because they're watching as well, of course. And this is how they learn of the concert. And Rhea, for some reason, is just like, oh, look at the makeup on Kimber. Oh, my goodness. It doesn't really look that different, Rhea.
That is really judgy.
And Shana says that Stormer's being a bad influence on Kimber. Fuck off.
Yeah. Oh, we're writing songs that are really meaningful and sensitive. Fuck that!
She should be here, writing meaningful and sensitive things for us. We need a good love song, and we're not gonna get it now.
Oh, I hate this.
So we cut to the concert that they are playing, and the Misfits and the Holograms arrive on, opposite sides of the club, and we get a combination song now. Song number 2 of the evening, Bad Influence, which is good, but it's not as thematically relevant as I'm Okay, which I like I'm Okay, Kristen. I don't know if I'd like Bad Influence more, though. I do like it.
I like it, and I think it is definitely worth people kind of just looking up to see it. It's definitely the most ambitious they've been with a combination song so far, I think.
Mostly because it's not 2 songs put together, pretty much.
Yeah, it's not terrible. It's not a hologram song that the Misfits are ruining.
Yes, exactly. Where, at least with Bad Influence now, we are now 2 and 2 with combination songs, where, of course, it's working out, it's doing me in being still the best, I believe, at this point.
I would say so, yeah.
Even though, going back and listening to it, I feel like if it were just a hologram song of It's Working Out, it would have been better than the combination song.
Sorry, Misfits. You ruined stuff.
The song is essentially, Stormer is a criminal, she's a bad influence from the holograms, going, Kimber is a sweet child angel, she's a bad influence from the Misfits side.
It's like it gives you a window into their mindsets and what they consider to be a bad influence.
You don't say. Kristen, did you notice that Jem switched up her Racing Racist suit with a new piece to the ensemble?
As if we wouldn't notice that it was racist underneath the boa.
She's wearing a white boa with her racist racing suit, which for those of you who may not remember is just literally, it's a gray racing suit with a purple midriff for some reason.
Yeah, it's a weird jumper that is not flattering. And I can't even remember why we started calling it a racist race suit. Is it because it came up in the World Hunger Shindig and that was racist?
I think so. That may have been the reason. But I'd put the racist racing suit on the same tier as Rio's cobblestone sweater and Stormer's fucking red leaf sweater that she wears later.
Oh god, if you put all 3 of those into the same scene, I think I would just puke.
Pizzazz comments that Kimber will break Stormer's heart in two, which... That's pretty obvious, Kristen.
Yeah, when Pizzazz understands the situation better than everyone else.
Better than Kimber or Stormer understand it, probably.
Really, Pizzazz has the most insight into this relationship. The 80s were a wild time.
I'm wondering, now I know that obviously we can make a joke, but in the context of the series, is she misreading the situation? Does Pizzazz know what relationships are? Is Pizzazz aware of her own heart if she doesn't have one?
I think she understands the concepts of heart.
And the song ends with Pizzazz going, "She's no good for you, baby."
I liked Stormer. I was mean to her because I loved her.
Yes, I feel like it also that implies that Kimber's like moving in on Pizzazz's territory here.
That was my kill.
I mean love, I mean kiss, I mean pizza.
Pizzas.
Pizzazz then calls Kimber a beanpole in classic Pizzazz fashion, actually in classic Roxy fashion. So what's Pizzazz doing stealing beanpole?
Well, anything belongs to Pizzazz.
Yeah, I gotta think, Kristen, is this a Marv Wolfman thing? Because beanpole showed up in Broadway Magic a lot, didn't it?
It did a couple of times, I think. Man, I love Beanpole.
So this may be just a Marv Wolfman thing. Maybe that's how he thinks that women talk, is they call each other beanpoles.
I can confirm, as a woman, we absolutely do.
Call everyone beanpoles all the time.
Yep, just not when men are around.
Stormer starts to be dragged away by Pizzazz at this point. Jem drags Kimber away, and Lindsay, betraying her morals for ratings, looking like a fucking shark, smelling blood as she's like, "Oh, we have some action here, think of the ratings. Cha-ching, 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 cha-ching."
Lindsay, how dare you?
Kimber and Stormer reject their respective bands, and Lindsay looks like she might throw up. She's so excited about the prospect of this scoop here. Kimber then mentions the contract at this point, which probably should stop the holograms from interfering, because if it's just like, "Oh, you're under contract, we should at least be actively helpful," instead of like, "No, get away from her, get away!"
I don't care about the Starlight music thing that they don't actually know about yet, to be fair.
Stormer and Kimber lock hands in victory. Nobody can stop them now.
We're gonna get gay married!
Jem and the Misfits just storm off stage, and Stormer comments that the Misfits only want to exploit her. "At least the holograms care about you, Kimber."
I care about you, Stormer.
Friends.
Lesbians.
Forever. I'm okay! We cut to Starlight Mansion. Jerrica is rooting around through Kimber's things, looking for the contract, which, here's where contact is important, Kristen, because you probably could have just asked her.
What? No.
Because things like this can happen, where Kimber arrives and she's like, "I was here to apologize, and I find you rummaging through my shit! I'm a grown-up now, damn it!"
Well, the sad thing is, I was discussing recently with someone that one of my favorite, suspense tropes is someone being somewhere they're not supposed to be, and, knowing someone could get back at any minute. Jem abuses this concept. It pushes it over and kicks it.
It is her sister.
Just ask.
Jerrica reveals that the contract that Kimber signed is a ploy for Eric to get Starlight music. It's...
You stupid.
Kimber, did you read this contract where it says if you don't produce the album, 50% of Starlight music goes to Can't Dance Music? And do you know who owns Can't Dance Music? The Countess? No, Eric Raymond. Of course it's fucking Eric Raymond.
Eric Raymond.
Amen.
And he just wrote ha 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 at the bottom of the contract because he knew that nobody would read it.
And Jerrica's eyes start, going crazy as she looks over the contract, too, in, the animation error sense. Not like her eyes get all swirly. They start, twitching back and forth, kind of, to make it kind of look like she's reading. But, yeah, they do it way too fast. I don't know. It doesn't matter. The animation's a little weird in this episode in some places.
Kimber, you were so negligent that my eyes hurt.
Kimber promises a hit record, so there's no need to worry. Sides, at least Eric is giving me a chance to prove myself.
Touché.
So we cut to Flash Recording Studio, and a place that I never thought we'd see again, because this was from, In Search of the Stolen Album was Flash Recording Studio?
This fucking continuity.
Yeah, and that wasn't even a Marv Wolfman episode. That was a fucking Rick Merwin episode, I think. So Kimber and Stormer are auditioning backup singers, and it is not going well, Kristen. We have someone, I don't know why they're auditioning two at a time either, but we have someone who's just going, and someone going I love my mother, I love my dog, I'm okay. And they're doing this both at the same time, and it's, Kristen, we see just this next scene is basically all the struggles of recording an album, and...
I don't know why this series feels like it needs to go out of its way to show, there are so many people who are just not as talented as the main characters, and it is such a pain.
But there's disagreements. It's, I think this should be a fast bridge. I think it should be a slow bridge. And then there's a session drummer whose bass drum is like 4 feet tall. And this guy looks like animation errors are fucking running rampant in this episode. And he's just like, hey, we're professionals, girls. We could play fast or we could play slow. So which is it gonna be?
That's condescending. You're fired.
They find that cutting an album is no walk in the park, which both of them have cut albums before. They should know that it's not fucking easy.
Yeah, for some reason they were like, it'll take 2 seconds. I'm okay. Cut.
And it's just, tapes are breaking, things are coming out bad. They play, the beginning part of There Ain't Nobody Better / There's the Melody playing, and they react very poorly to it.
Yeah. Apparently they're just like, wow, I didn't realize until I listened to the actual recording this sounds like audio garbage.
So in the next scene, are they in the kitchen area of, it looks like that kitchen area that shows up in Misfits music occasionally, or like Pizzazz's house or wherever, but they're just in some kind of kitchen area. It could just be a flash recording.
Cafeteria.
Yeah, weird cafeteria maybe, I don't know. Stormer has prepared herself another sundae, but Kristen,
Stormer has a problem.
it's colored incorrectly so the ice cream scoops look like oranges. And the banana still has the peel on. So basically, it looks like in this scene, Stormer is putting whipped cream on a fruit bowl.
She's really depressed. She's just straight up eating fruit with the peel still on them.
And Stormer's like, we should probably ask for help. And Kimber's
Do you know how to peel oranges?
We should probably ask for help peeling these oranges.
Please help me. I don't want to eat this anymore. It's too much fiber.
We gotta do it by ourselves or they're all gonna laugh at us, says Kimber.
Okay. And we find out that Jem and the Holograms have not been nearly as crippled as the Misfits during this because they still have several band members. And they are just playing sets without Kimber.
Yeah, we cut to Jem and the Holograms finishing up a set and apparently they didn't play very well, which I don't know if this means that they say afterwards, as they're all blaming each other, basically. Shana blames Audrey for fucking up a guitar solo, which is usually Kimber's keyboard part, I would assume.
Whatever.
And Jem is angry at Rhea, which, if Jem's gonna be angry at anyone, it probably shouldn't be Rhea, considering she's the newest band member.
Yeah, give her a couple months, dude.
She came in late on the second verse. Unforgivable. Get out! Get out! Get out!
But she doesn't, because they cannot stand to lose any more members.
The Holograms start to realize just how much they needed Kimber, because she did cues, and played the keyboard, and wrote lyrics, I guess.
Who knows at this point?
We cut back to Kimber and Stormer. They're having some doubts that the album is almost finished. It is so very close. All they need is Stormer's one voice track. They need a single fucking voice track for a song, and
Why
they're
is
all
that
done.
the last thing?
Because we need to have the drama of Stormer possibly running away.
Yeah, because there's some bribery in the works.
So, as they walk in, they overhear the recorder man, the sound engineer guy, talking over the phone. He's like, whoa, what big suckers Kimber and Stormer are. They're never gonna finish the album now, Eric Raymond, whom I'm talking to.
I specifically say that so you know what's up.
End of segment 2, Beard Zipper is gonna do some sabotage if he has to.
Oh no, disaster recording.
Segment 3 starts. Stormer is pissed that Eric is involved. And
No one told her.
Kimber walks in and grabs the phone and is just like, Eric Raymond, you're a jerk.
Pop off, Eric!
We're gonna finish this album, and fuck you! And then just hangs it up and fires the recorder man.
And kicks him in the dick.
So now they need a new recording engineer. Oh no, it's hopeless.
The Misfits we go over to them. They're having a bad time.
I don't know if this was my favorite shot of the episode, Kristen. No, there's a few. Okay, but it's the visual of the Misfits are playing for 2 seconds. Not even 2 seconds. We cut to them, it's like, brrr, and then Jenna throws down her saxophone like, fuck, that was terrible!
Why did I leave my old band for this?
I could be with the Tinkerbellies right now. I don't need this shit.
Unfortunately, Stormer was like the music glue that made them good at playing instruments.
Roxy realizes that they need Stormer, and Pizzazz has a plan to get her back. And the plan is bribery!
Yeah! Good old-fashioned bribery.
So we cut to Stormer walking out of the recording studio, I think, and the Misfits are all there, and Stormer's like, why don't you get the fuck out of here, you stupid animal?
Airbud!
And Pizzazz is like, oh, no, you know what, we came bearing gifts. You see that Porsche, that red car, that we're gonna say Porsche a few times here, because it's not your AMC Pacer? That's yours!
This is a much nicer car, isn't it? Plot point.
And Stormer's like, oh, ooh. And she gets in the car, and Kristen, she could have easily just run Pizzazz over and have it be done. That could have been it. It could have been...
Death Race 2000.
It could have been over.
And she also gets some credit cards that Jetta stole.
Do you think they were stolen?
Probably. Where did Jetta get a bunch of credit cards? She doesn't have any established credit in America.
That's exactly how she got them. It's because, I'm a credit risk, and the credit card company is just here cash registers.
Yeah, awesome. Stormer basically starts to well up with tears because people are bribing her, which to her is care.
She sees this as appreciation, yes, from the Misfits, and she's like, this is all I ever wanted, was for you guys to just give me shit.
That's why I became a rock and roll star in the first place. I just wanted things.
So she drives off, and Pizzazz is like, she belongs to the Misfits now. Lock, stock, and music.
I think that's how that goes.
Pizzazz couldn't think of a third thing, so the first thing that came to her mind was music.
The music magic.
Music is magic.
Music is magic.
Kimber is still hanging around the recording studio as Stormer is succumbing to greed, and we see her buying furs and jewelry and whatever.
It's nice that she takes advantage of these gifts, and though there is a moment of doubt, she does go back to Kimber, and I assume just keeps her furs and shit.
Because, yeah, Kimber is, like, walking around being like, hey, where's Stormer? Where's Stormer? And Charlie Adler, employee, is just like, oh, she left. And she left this note.
Kimber, I'm breaking up with you in the 80s version of a text message. Sorry.
Kimber, I've gone back to the Misfits. Sorry. That's it. That's the note.
And Kimber is left to mend her broken heart.
But we see that Stormer's having some doubts too, because she is in bed for some reason. And in the however long this is taken, because again, Kristen, you gotta remember, the Misfits needed to have an album out by Thursday. And Friday, excuse me. It might be Thursday right now.
Who knows?
Stormer is in bed looking at a framed picture of herself and Kimber that she has gotten in the interim.
On her bedside table.
On her bedside table, yes. And when she looks at it, a weird thing happens where she looks at it and she goes, oh, Stormer, which, is she like beating herself up for this? Or was she supposed to go, oh, Kimber? Or was that too, like, were the censors or whomever just like, whoa, wait a minute.
That's too gay.
Wait a minute. Is there subtext that I'm missing here? It's like, no, they're friends, but that sounds kind of like they're in love. That they're two ladies that love each other.
Can't they be friends in love? But no.
So we cut to Kimber, who is confronting Eric, basically going, Eric Raymond, you win. Once a misfit, always a misfit. I should have known. Oh, I'm so dumb.
Eric nearly shits himself in excitement. He is so happy.
Eric is very excited again to be back at where he started, owning half of Starlight Music. And it only took him millions of dollars, Kristen.
This is what you call a net win.
Stormer shows up to the surprise of everyone, and she finished the record. Oh my goodness.
Stormer almost lost herself to the Misfits because they gave her gifts. When she realized that Kimber gave her something so much more important.
Love.
Sincere friendship, I think is what she says.
Sincere love. Ship. Love ship.
Gay.
The love boat.
The love boat. And you know what? It transcends disaster in this universe. Kimber and Stormer are so in love, their disaster boat becomes the love boat.
Where's Isaac?
I don't know anything about the love boat.
Isaac is the bartender, that's all I know.
God!
And of course that sincere friendship is worth more than anything the Misfits gave her, and then they hug and I'm okay again, and Eric says they may have finished the record, but he won't promote it. The record needs to be a hit as per the contract.
So they leave and are kind of like, I think we need help.
So Kimber and Stormer leave, and Stormer's wearing her shitty leaf sweater at this point, and Kimber is just like, we don't know a thing about business. We totally need help. Who do we know that knows about business? Who among us has a blonde-haired big sister with the shoulder pad pantsuit that could do the help with the business with us, please?
Who?
Bonnie, duh.
Yeah, she's really good at putting up posters.
No, it's Jerica.
Oh. Okay.
So we cut to Starlight Mansion, and they're asking Jerica for help, of course, and Jerica realizes that they took Kimber for granted.
I think we already learned this lesson.
Of course she'll help. They all will. So they all get together and they all group hug, and it's time for song number 3 of the evening. It's time to get started.
Business.
Getting down to okay.
What?
Getting Down to Business, a song we have heard before, which was in... Was it Kimber's Rebellion or Frame Up? I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
I think it was Kimber's Rebellion. I think.
Oh, we've come full circle.
And it's basically in the same context, because before it was just promotion for the holograms, right?
I think this is where Bonnie was putting up some posters.
Yeah, and she looked like she was a teenager, even though she's like 10.
Yeah. Pre-hard-boiled blind cop Bonnie.
Kimber and Stormer, Kristen, begin the song running on a beach, hand in hand. Jesus Christ.
How about that?
And they see some very large album covers from Luna Dark,
Ooh.
Johnny Deacon,
Ah.
and Limp Lizards.
Ooh!
I guess the Limp Lizards must have gotten a pretty sweet deal if they have a record out when they were just in the Battle of the Bands before.
Yeah, so they're fine, I guess. They have like a...
They're okay!
Kimber and Stormer are at a photo shoot, basically pressing their cheeks right together.
Basically making out with one another.
Just rubbing their makeup back and forth between their faces.
They put up a poster, and the name of the album is Kimber and Stormer, Back to Back, when it should be that they're more...
Mouth to mouth.
There are albums being printed that we see. The album is
Heart
in high
to
demand.
heart.
Heart to heart. Hand in hand. Kiss, kiss.
Kiss kiss. Fall in love.
The album seems to be in high demand, and a magazine even says that Kimber and Stormer have taken the rock world by storm.
Great. Good. Great and good.
The album ends up going double platinum, Kristen, which is 2 million?
I guess so.
So remember in Glitter and Gold when it took them a decent amount of time for Jem to sell 500,000 records?
Yes, I do.
Kimber and Stormer, Kristen. It must be pretty good.
Tour de force. They're okay.
Who got all the money from that album?
What a great question.
Did Eric Raymond get all of the money for that album?
So he didn't really lose much, did he?
It's a win-win for me. Either got half of Starlight Music or a shitload of money.
Nice.
I wonder if any of the holograms realized that, and if they did know, should they have promoted the album less so it wouldn't have been... So it would have been just enough of a hit for Eric to make for Eric to not make double platinum kind of money.
No one thinks.
So Stormer's more than happy about the fact that Starlight Music is safe, and that seemed to be the most important thing for her. I believe she said that, like, hey, we're a hit! And it's like, but it's most important that you didn't lose any of the record company, which was mostly my fault, excuse me.
No, sorry about that. So Jerica is like, you know what, Stormer? We need 6 people in the holograms.
You know our keyboard player? She's kind of a bitch, and she walked out on us, so we could have another keyboard... Oh, you're standing right next to me, Kimber, I'm sorry.
Oh, oof, I was gonna... Maybe... I wasn't gonna suggest a little fashion swap-a-rooney, because of course you guys wouldn't be interested in that, right? You wouldn't be...
No, yeah, you know,
No?
Kimber...
No, yes? No?
Kimber, Synergy told me you already have a Misfits look lined up, so we could just kind of, just do a little, member do-si-do here.
But it doesn't matter because the remaining Misfits all busted and they're like, we are homeless.
Kristen, where are they that the Misfits were able to just burst into this room?
I was gonna say Misfits Synergy to create a distraction, but Misfits Synergy is Tech Rat and nobody cares about him. So Pizzazz just probably kicked a security guard in the face.
So I guess that they're at Starlight Music then, and just because or they're on just neutral territory somewhere, because
now the Misfits are here too.
Yeah, the Misfits with no fanfare run in, and basically yes, they say that they need Stormer, and Jeddah even says, "Come back, Yank!
I love you.
Me saxophone loves you."
He told me. Oh no, the saxophone talks to Jeddah.
Character trait. Stormer realizes that the holograms don't need her, but the Misfits actually really do need her. And
you already have a keyboardist. Fuck off.
Stormer wants to be an equal partner, though, and Pizzazz is just like, what? Partner. Partner. Yeah, partner sounds good. I could go for some partner right now. Is there a good partner place around here?
She doesn't know what a partner is.
Kimber and Stormer say their goodbyes. We learned a lot about each other, and a little bit about love. I mean life. I mean love. I mean smooch.
I'm okay. For the 25th time.
The end! That's the end of the band's breakup!
Yay!
Kristen, that was the band's breakup. What did you think about that episode other than all of the subtext that I missed anyway the first time around?
You mean the non-subtext?
That isn't very much even subtext because, yeah, it's, Kimber and Stormer may as well have banged at one point.
Yeah, seriously. I feel like that's the majority of the episode. I feel like, standard stupid Jem plot. Contract, dumb thing happened. But dressing it around something much more interesting was nice. I think we've said before, we like when the kind of mundane Misfits and Holograms, crossovers happen, basically, where it's like, they're on neutral ground and just are forced to interact with each other.
Right, where Pizzazz isn't, throwing, hurricane blows at any of the holograms, and they can actually stand and talk to each other without any violence or yelling or anything.
Yeah, it's kind of like how Island of Deception was good for that reason.
Exactly, right, exactly. There wasn't as much interaction between the holograms and Misfits in this episode, just a lot of, we learned a lot about what each member meant to their respective band, even though the status quo doesn't change.
Yeah, basically. Kimber gets some affirmation. We can maybe tell ourselves that Stormer's a little bit happier than she was before.
It'll all really come down to I feel like there's maybe one other occasion where there's an episode where the holograms at least know that Stormer's not trying to fuck them over in such a way compared to the rest of the Misfits. Like, they at least appreciate that they could call her a friend, even, maybe.
Yeah, they trust her a lot more than they trust all the rest of the Misfits.
But yeah, well, that remains to be seen. We'll make sure to keep an eye out for that one, because I honestly, again, I've seen most of the episodes of Jem once at this point, so I forget.
It's been a bit.
Now's the point in the evening where we will list off all of the fun contact things where you can reach us. You can follow us on the Twitter machine at CWTAPod. You can follow me at Octopus, that is AWKTAPUS.
You can follow me at FunnyGirlTM, like trademark.
You can find us on the iTunes, on the SoundCloud, on the Stitcher Radio. Leave a rating, give a review, do whatever you feel like. You could also drop us a line, CWTAPod@gmail.com, where you can tell us all about how to properly write a friendship episode for children without there being some sort of romantic subtext in there, even though it may have been the intent all along. I'm not sure.
I mean, if they were just trying to write a friendship, they did a bad job. In the best way.
A lot of hugging. It's probably Marv Wolfman was like, what do girls who are friends but not girlfriends do? They probably hug. They probably do a lot of hugging. Is that right, Cherie?
Hold hands, frolic on the beach, release an album about being okay. Yeah, that sounds right.
Next week, Kristen, the hits keep coming.
Oh.
It's the fan. It is the fan.
Oh my god.
It's the fan. Kristen,
my
it's
God.
the fan.
God.
Kristen, the shit hits the fan. Kristen.
I know!
Next week, the shit hits the fan because it is the fan.
The fan is the best.
It might be my favorite episode. I'm not certain.
I'm gonna cry.
You're okay.
I'm okay.
Join us, won't you? For the Can We Talk About podcast, my name is Joe.
I am Kristen.
And next week, it is the fan, so please come along where we will talk about the fan.
Holy shit, do not miss this one. Checks in the mail.